Distinguishing between the feeling of being tired and the state of chronic fatigue involves observing the persistence and impact of the exhaustion. Everyday tiredness is a common experience, a natural physiological response to physical exertion, mental effort, or a temporary lack of sleep. This type of fatigue is typically predictable. It arises after a known cause, such as a long day at work, a strenuous workout, or a late night. The body signals its need for rest, and with adequate sleep or a period of relaxation, energy levels are restored. This recovery is usually complete, allowing a person to return to their normal activities feeling refreshed. Chronic fatigue, however, presents a different clinical picture. It is a profound and persistent exhaustion that is not alleviated by rest or sleep. Its onset may not be linked to any specific activity, and it can linger for weeks, months, or even years. Unlike normal tiredness, which is a temporary state, chronic fatigue is a debilitating condition that can significantly interfere with a person's ability to engage in daily life. This level of exhaustion is often described as a full-body tiredness, affecting cognitive functions, physical strength, and emotional well-being. One of the key distinctions lies in the relationship between activity and exhaustion. With normal tiredness, a person might feel weary after exercise but generally recovers within a day or two. In contrast, individuals experiencing chronic fatigue may find that even minimal physical or mental exertion can trigger a disproportionate and prolonged period of exhaustion, a phenomenon sometimes referred to as post-exertional malaise. This is not simply feeling more tired. It is a significant relapse of symptoms that can last for days or weeks after an activity that would be considered minor by most people. Cognitive function is another area where the differences become apparent. It is normal to feel a bit foggy or have trouble concentrating when sleep deprived. However, the cognitive impairment associated with chronic fatigue is often more severe and persistent. This can include issues with short-term memory, finding the right words, maintaining focus, and processing information quickly. These cognitive difficulties, often described as brain fog, are a hallmark of chronic fatigue and are not typically seen with ordinary tiredness. The quality of sleep also serves as a differentiating factor. A person who is simply tired will usually feel restored after a good night's sleep. For someone with chronic fatigue, sleep is often they may wake up feeling as if they have not slept at all, regardless of the number of hours they were in bed. Sleep disturbances, such as difficulty falling or staying asleep, or a disrupted sleep-wake cycle, are common but do not fully explain the profound lack of energy upon waking. The impact on daily functioning is perhaps the most significant distinction. Normal tiredness may make a day feel long or challenging, but it rarely prevents a person from fulfilling their basic responsibilities at work, home, or school. Chronic fatigue, on the other hand, can be so severe that it becomes difficult to perform even simple tasks like showering, preparing a meal, or holding a conversation. The overall quality of life is substantially diminished, as social engagements, hobbies, and professional activities may become impossible to maintain. Another point of observation is the presence of other accompanying symptoms. Normal tiredness is primarily just that, a feeling of being tired. Chronic fatigue is often accompanied by a constellation of other symptoms. These can include widespread muscle or joint pain, persistent headaches of a new type or severity, sore throat, and tender lymph nodes in the neck or armpits. The presence of these multisystemic symptoms points toward a more complex underlying process than simple physical or mental overexertion. The duration and onset are also critical for differentiation. Normal tiredness is acute and has a clear timeline. It begins after a specific cause and ends once the body has recovered. Chronic fatigue is, by definition, long-term. Clinical observations often consider fatigue that lasts for 6 months or longer, and is not explainable by an underlying medical condition. As a significant indicator, the onset can be sudden, perhaps following an infection, or it can develop gradually over time without a clear trigger. The response to rest is a fundamental observable difference. For ordinary tiredness, rest is the solution. A weekend of sleeping in, a relaxing vacation, or even a short nap can make a world of difference. For chronic fatigue, rest is not restorative. While it is necessary, it does not replenish energy levels in the same way. The feeling of being drained persists regardless of attempts to rest and recover, which can be a source of significant frustration and misunderstanding for those experiencing it. Finally, the emotional and psychological impact differs in scale. Feeling tired can make a person irritable or moody, but these feelings typically resolve with rest. The relentless nature of chronic fatigue can have a more profound effect on mental health. Living with a constant state of exhaustion, pain, and cognitive difficulty can lead to feelings of isolation, frustration, and hopelessness. It's a continuous, daily struggle that goes far beyond the experience of being simply tired. It's important to remember that if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, help is available. You can contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988 in the United States and Canada, or by calling 111 in the United Kingdom. These services are free, confidential, and available 24/7. Reaching out is a sign of strength.